Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Forest Glen Park, home of the Huntington University Forester baseball team. Today, the Foresters take on the Maple Leafs of Goshen College in a 4-game series. Games were weathered out yesterday, so the first 2 games are moved to today, and games 3 and 4 are supposed to be tomorrow, but the forecast is for a lot of rain on a very wet field already, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see how that works out. So, the Foresters come into today with a record of 23-8. They're 13-7 in the Crossroads League, which right now puts them in 3rd place in the league. Goshen comes in today with a record of 4-27 and 3-17 in the Crossroads League. And we've learned many times over that doesn't matter what the record is, teams in this league are going to be competitive week in and week out. So we'll see what happens. The Foresters are a little bit banged up. A couple starting pitchers that are out of this series with issues that just need some rest. And so they hopefully will be back next weekend when the Foresters travel to Grace College to take on the Lancers. So starting pitcher for the first game today for Huntington University is freshman A.J. Masinski. He's primarily pitched out of the bullpen this year, but he's been effective. He's 1-0 with a 6.28 ERA, 11 appearances, 14 innings pitched, 20 strikeouts and 7 base on balls. We know that when you come out of the bullpen, sometimes ERAs can be inflated a little bit. So leading off for the Maple Leafs is their right fielder, Chase Smith. Smith comes in hitting .194 with 2 home runs and 6 RBIs. First pitch from Masinski is low and inside, ball 1. Batting second is Chris Godden. Batting third is Aiden Calvi. Batting fourth is Fernando Marte Santana. There's the 1-strike pitch, ground ball to first base. Fielded by Kiefer. Shovels to Masinski for the first out of the game. Little PFP there. So that brings up, as we mentioned, Chris Godden. And I'm trying to work hard to get pronunciations right here. Godden is the Maple Leafs second baseman. There's a fly ball hit to center field. Looks like Owen Willard will make the play in short center field for the second out. So 3 pitches and 2 outs. And that brings it up the shortstop, Aiden Calvi. Calvi comes in hitting .163 with 10 RBIs. He does have 6 stolen bases. First pitch is a fastball inside. 1-0 the count. Fastball for a strike. On deck for the Maple Leafs is first baseman A.J. Carrasquillo. I hope I've said that right. I've been working on it. So 1-1 pitch is hit hard off the facing of the third base dugout. So that'll take the count to 1-2. Little pause in the action here. I'm not sure why, if somebody got hit down there. I'm not sure. The dugout blocks my view in terms of the outfield side of the dugout. There's a line drive into right center field. That'll be a base hit. So the Maple Leafs have a man on with 2 outs, and that brings up Fernando Marte Santana. The DH comes in leading the Maple Leafs and hitting at .333. Masinski comes set, and the pitch is swung on and hit down the left field line. That'll be foul. So that'll take the count to no balls and 1 strike. So far, it's a very nice day out there today. I think there's a forecast for some rain coming in early this evening, but we'll hope that stays away for now. Masinski comes set, throws to first. Wilson with the tag, but runners back in safely. Wilson at first base today has done almost all of his playing time so far this season behind the plate. Runner goes at first. Here's a fly ball hit into left field, and that'll be caught on the run by Owen Immel. That's a nice play because that is a wet area of the field down there in the corner, and so you never know what your footing is going to be like. So no runs, a hit for the Maple Leafs. We'll go to the bottom of the first with the score: Maple Leafs nothing, Foresters coming to bat. Lineup for Huntington University is leading off, playing center field, Jace Fowler. Fowler's hitting .358 with 5 home runs, 24 RBI. He leads the Foresters with 39 runs scored. Batting second and playing first base, Kiefer Wilson comes in hitting .358 with 11 home runs, 37 runs batted in, and he is one of 3 Foresters that have 11 doubles on the season. Batting third is the DH, Cam Clarkson. Clarkson comes in leading the Foresters in hitting at .372 with 3 home runs and 27 RBI. Leads the Foresters with 42 hits and tied with Wilson with 11 doubles. Batting fourth is the second baseman, Owen Willard. .363, 9 home runs, 33 RBI. Batting fifth and catching is Zach Pelletier, hitting .330, 1 home run, 17 RBI. Batting sixth, the right fielder Tanner Reinhardt, hitting .287 with 9 home runs and 33 RBI, and he is tied with Wilson and Clarkson for doubles with 11. Batting seventh, playing shortstop, and back in the lineup is Braden Kaufman, hitting .227 with a home run, 11 RBI. Batting eighth, the left fielder, hitting .474, 3 home runs, 20 RBI, is Owen Immel, and he's getting close to having enough at-bats to count in terms of the stats for the Foresters. But, boy, he's just been sensational the second half of the season. And batting ninth and playing third base is Cade Flores, .299 with 21 RBIs and 9 stolen bases. Hitting against Goshen's A.J. Lynn, he's 1-5 with a 10.27 ERA in 10 appearances, 30.2 innings pitched, 17 Ks, 17 walks, 52 hits. Here's Jace Fowler stepping in for the Foresters. First pitch from Lynn is a ball off the outside corner. 1 ball and no strikes. The 1-0 pitch. There's a breaking ball for a called strike. Looked like a slider. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Jace Fowler, the sophomore from Franklin, Indiana. Fastball up high, 2 balls and 1 strike. Fowler transferred to Huntington from Indiana State, redshirted last year with a shoulder issue, but back in the lineup full-time this year, and boy, he's had a good year. There's a ball hit right down the line, just foul. Fowler hit it right on the screws, but it was foul. Takes the ball to 2 balls and 2 strikes. No score here in the top of the first. Bottom of the first. 2-2 pitch. That's a ball in the dirt, ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Fowler. That's off the outside corner, ball 4. So Fowler leads off the game for the Foresters with a walk, and that brings up Kiefer Wilson. As I mentioned, Wilson playing first base today. Pelletier back behind the plate. I think they're going to kind of go game by game here for a while and kind of see what's going on with Kiefer. First pitch to Wilson. It's a breaking ball in the outside corner for a called strike. Appreciate not having the sun on the scoreboard. You can see it a lot easier, can't you? Wilson batting second today. Lynn steps off, quick throw to first. Fowler is back. There's a strike one pitch, low and inside, ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike. One ball and 1 strike to Wilson. Fastball on the outside corner, called strike 2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Foresters' first baseman. Throw to first. Fowler's back. Wilson has been a 2-time Crossroads League Player of the Week this year, most recently when the Foresters played up at Bethel. Here's the pitch, 1-2 pitch, down low, ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That was a good take and a good pitch. Made Wilson think about it. Two balls and 2 strikes to set. And a pitch, it's high and inside, ball 3. So Lynn has gone full on both the first 2 hitters for the Foresters here in the bottom of the first. On deck for Huntington is the DH, Cam Clarkson. 3-2 pitch to Wilson. That's swung on and fouled back. So we'll do it again. Fowler was on the run. We'll see if that happens again here. Lynn comes set. 3-2 pitch. Fowler does not go this time. And Wilson hits a fly ball into deep left center field. Center fielder going back. Makes the catch against the fence. And that's the first out of the inning. So Wilson gave it a ride, but just not enough in it to get it out of here. Nice play by the center fielder. So that's 1 down. That'll bring Cam Clarkson to the plate. Clarkson hitting in the 3 hole today. Had normally been hitting in the 4 hole. And Coach Stad Frame just tweaking the lineup just a little bit. With Declan Thompson out with a broken finger, they've had to move some guys around a little bit. First pitch to Clarkson is on the outside corner for a strike. Don't know if you run in this situation. You've got the hole at first base, but you also want to continue to be aggressive in the game. We'll see what happens. Another throw to first. That one was a little bit closer. Fowler back diving. The 0-1 pitch to Clarkson. There's a ball hit to first base. Throw to second for the force. Throw back to first. Not in time for the double play. So that'll be a 3-6 putout on Jace Fowler. That'll put Cam Clarkson at first base and bring Owen Willard to the plate. I'm on my own here today. We're going to have some guest folks come up every now and then and talk with us. First pitch to Willard. There's a base hit to left field. Ground ball in the hole between third base and shortstop. So that'll bring up catcher Zach Pelletier to the plate. Pelletier was one of the all-conference catchers last year, but has seen most of his playing time at first base this season. So it's nice if Wilson needs a couple days off, it's nice to have somebody you can put back there that you can really trust, and that's certainly Pelletier. First pitch, breaking ball for a called strike. Oh, 1 pitch to Pelletier. There's a ball hit up the middle. Second baseman fields it, steps on the bag, and that's the end of the inning. So the Foresters leave 2 men on, and we'll go to the top of the second inning with the score 0-0. So coming into today, we've got the standings in the Crossroads League. Taylor is 20-2, 32-3 overall, and number 1 in the country in the latest poll. 2 of those losses, the only 2 losses in the league, were given to them by Huntington. Marion is 15-5. HU is 13-7. Wesleyan is 14-8 in 4th place. Spring Arbor is 11-9 in 5th place. St. Francis 10-12. Mount Vernon Nazarene is 8-12. Grace is 6-16. And Bethel is 4-16. Goshen 3-17. So top 8 teams qualify for the tournament. Matchups this weekend, Marion is at Mount Vernon, and I believe they are playing today. Spring Arbor is at Bethel. Grace is at Indiana Wesleyan. St. Francis at Taylor. And with weather and field conditions, it depends on, when some of these teams are going to play. So we'll go to the top of the second inning, no score. And I'm joined by HU Athletic Director Lori Culler. I just asked her if she'd sit in maybe for a couple innings. And I know she knows, I worked for her for a long time, so I know she knows nothing about baseball.
Absolutely nothing.
So, but believe it or not, did you come here to play softball?
Well, I came here to play softball and basketball.
Okay.
I didn't really, in Pennsylvania, basketball is not a big deal like it is in Indiana. So softball was definitely more my thing, but I developed a love for basketball from a previous coach that I had the opportunity and pleasure to play for, and Keith Freeman.
Yep.
And he turned on that proverbial light bulb for me in basketball. And so, that really became a love of mine. But softball, ranks up there pretty high too.
Yep. You were the coach for, a year?
2 years.
2 years.
Yes. Coaching in basketball and softball at the same time was a bit challenging. And so something had to give, and so I was more about the climate-controlled environment, and so basketball was the easy choice.
This is the first baseman, A.J. Carrasquillo. One ball and 2 strikes. There's a fastball off the outside corner. Evens the count at 2-2. It'll be interesting to see how far Mashinsky goes here today. As we mentioned, he's typically out of the bullpen, so his innings pitched are not real high. Wow, there's a delayed called strike 3.
Nice.
This is Nick Badrone that's up. Comes in at 232 with 2 RBIs, does have 4 stolen bases. There's a ball in the dirt. I can't get myself to say ball in the turf. I just can't get used to that.
Yes. So. I don't think I've heard that used very often anyway, even when it is on turf.
There's a ball hit hard into left field, but Immel got a really nice running start on it. I think that ball looked like it was hit harder than what it was. It was hit off the end of the bat. So 2 outs, and that'll bring the third baseman. This is Nathan Pinito. Hitting from the left side. Comes in hitting 156 on the season. First pitch is a ball. Next pitch from Baczynski is inside, ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes.
It's nice to see the lights on today.
It is, especially that one out there in left field.
Yeah.
So
that was a bit of a struggle to get that repaired. Huh?
Did they ever figure out why it went bad?
Not that I heard.
So I think I had originally heard lightning, but I don't think that was the case.
Yeah. Well, as you know, I mean, you would know best how long the lights have been part of the facility here.
Yeah, that's true.
There are times where, the wear and tear over a number of years definitely takes its toll.
3-1 pitch to Pinino is fouled straight back. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, anytime you put something underground like wiring, you just never know what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, I was glad they were able to fix it without going under the field.
Yeah.
That seemed a little dangerous.
3-2 pitch to Pinino is taken for ball 4. So he goes to first base, and that brings up the catcher, Hunter Oborn. So the Maple Leafs have a runner at first with 2 outs. Top of the second inning, no score. So far, a really nice day down at Forest Glen. There's a fastball inside that's pulled foul over the third base dugout. Boy, he was way out in front of that. That's kind of hard to do for a right-handed hitter. There's a ball hit to the right side. That's going to be trouble. Second baseman was playing up the middle, playing him to pull, and he hit the ball in the first base, second base hole, kind of off the end of the bat. So that will be a base hit for Oborn. And that'll bring up Nathaniel Muriel.
I thought he might be able to get a throw off there to first, but yeah.
He had a long way to go.
Yeah, he did. And the slide kind of took his feet out from under him.
Muriel comes in hitting .216, playing left field today. Just the angle that I have. As soon as the ball came off the bat, I thought that's not going to be good. So, first pitch, fastball inside. Ball 1. So, what are you doing this time of year?
Well, a lot of things to kind of wrap up the year and start planning for next year. We're doing a lot of evaluation of coaches and looking for hiring some other positions and some coaches that will be looking for new assistant coaches or additional assistant coaches. Okay. So a lot of interviewing going on, and we just wrapped up our student athlete leadership team Million Meal event, our big community service event for the year, and really successful. Again, packed over 37,000 meals, and
Wow.
Donated all of those to food banks here in Huntington County. Most went to United with Love and some to the Salvation Army. So it's always a neat event that brings all of our athletes and coaches together and makes a big impact in the community.
2 balls and 1 strike here to Muriel. Once again, no score here in the top of the second inning. Maple Leafs have runners at first and second. There's a ball hit down the right field line. We used to do something at a Bible study that I was in. It was something in backpacks. I forget what it was
Blessings
called.
in a backpack.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did that a couple times.
Yeah, I think our men's basketball team still does that
Okay.
each year.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes here, top of the second inning. Here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a base hit to right field. Maple Leafs are going to score the first run of the game on a base hit by Nathaniel Muriel. And that will bring up Chase Smith, leading off the game, was out 3-1 on a ground ball to first base. Nice play by both Kiefer Wilson and A.J. Mashinsky. Something that you work on in practice a lot, but you never know if you're going to be able to do it in a game. Ooh, there's a foul ball lined into the first base dugout by the left-handed hitting
Wow.
Smith.
He smoked that one.
Yeah. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's a fastball outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. As we mentioned, Mashinsky has been coming out of the bullpen all year, so don't see any activity at all in the Foresters' bullpen right now. There's a ball that's popped up, third base side, and Zach Pelletier, the catcher, makes a nice play. That ball was right up next to the fence and coming back, and went to the fence.
Yeah, he
Typically,
played that really
those
well.
balls come back. You know, you try to keep your nose underneath them because you know that it's going to drift back towards the playing surface. So.
Yeah, and that Cade Flores with the assist on keeping him on his feet.
That's right. So coming up to bat here for the Foresters here in the top of the second inning. Tanner Reinhardt's, Braden Kaufman, and Owen Immel. So I made the comment to somebody, it might have been you, that, you know, suddenly the Crossroads League has become one of the better leagues in the country overall in terms of sports. You know, you've got Huntington and Taylor who are ranked. Taylor's number 1 in the country now in baseball.
Right, I saw that.
You know, both basketball teams were ranked, right? The women receive votes.
Yes.
So, you know, you got a lot of good things going on. Tennis teams are doing very well and ranked.
Yep.
So it's that's a good thing to see.
Yeah, we I guess we're kind of finishing up some of the indoor stuff that went on. Bowling was one that was a winter sport that Leland Jones, give a shout out to him. He in the USBC sectionals rolled the highest average of any bowler among all of the sectional tournament.
Wow.
And is the first HU bowler to represent us at the Nationals in USBC.
Wow.
He and Coach Shockey are heading to Wisconsin next week for the national tournament. So we want to wish him well in his first trip to the national tournament. But, yeah, that was pretty special.
That is.
So
Tanner Reinhardt's leads off for the Foresters, comes in hitting .287 with 9 home runs and 33 RBI. He's also one of 3 guys tied for the lead in doubles with 11. Boy, just had a really good year for a freshman. As Played some third base, but primarily an outfielder. There's the 1-1 pitch. That ball's off the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. Guys, I just mentioned the scoreboard, and now we're back to not being able to see it, right?
Yeah.
With the sun. 2-1 pitch. Big swing by Reinhardt, comes up empty. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So we have a new men's volleyball coach, right? Or you're still working on that?
Well, we're still working on it.
Okay.
But yeah, we are in the process of making an offer and seeing where that goes. So we should know something by the end of next week, I would assume.
Reinhardt hits a pop-up to second base for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Braden Kaufman. Kaufman's been out of the lineup a little bit, but back in today, moving Flores to third base. Lynn's done a good job so far. Mixon staying ahead of hitters. There's a bunt to third base. That's a great bunt.
Tough.
No way.
Oh, yeah, great bunt.
No, the way they're throwing out Kaufman there. So that's a bunt hit. It brings up maybe the hottest hitter for the Foresters is Owen Emmel. Emmel's been in the lineup here for the last 4 or 5 weeks, and his hit comes today hitting .474.
Wow, impressive.
With 3 home runs and 20 RBI. The senior grad student has just really stepped in and done a great job for Huntington. So Kaufman at first base represents the tying run here in the bottom of the second. Score 1-0 Maple Leafs. Lynn steps off and throws to first. Kaufman is back. There's the throw to first. So a lot of new things going on here at HU. New president, new business guy.
Mm-hmm. VP for finance.
Yeah.
Yep. And
advancement. Yeah.
Yeah, and we just got done with 3 interviews for the VP for student life and athletics position, which had some good choices there. So we're anxious on the athletic side for sure to find out who our new boss will be. But yeah, excited about that, and thankful for all the time that Dr. Coffey has spent here at HU, a lot of years, and done a fantastic job in that role as VP for student life. So he will be missed.
So Emmel grounds out to second base. Kaufman moves up, or grounds out, to second base, and Kaufman moves up to second base as Emmel is eliminated at first. So 2 outs, Kaufman at second, and that brings up Cade Flores hitting in the 9-hole today. First pitch is a strike. Next pitch is down low in the dirt. Yeah, Ron and I went to school together, so coming up here pretty soon, I'm going to be able to start telling stories about him because he doesn't work here anymore.
That's right, yeah. Well, you might be careful because he can probably tell some on you, too.
Yeah, you're right. There's a ground ball to second base. Second baseman up, throws to first, and that retires the side. So after 2 innings, Foresters trail the Maple Leafs 1-0. Basinski is back on the mound for Huntington, and we'll once again see how far he goes here. Done a pretty good job so far.
Yeah.
Young man is coming off of arm surgery, so his stamina continues to be something that he's working on. He's got a bright future ahead for the Foresters. I think they see him as a starting pitcher down the road and not coming out of the bullpen. So
Great. And he's just a freshman, right?
just a freshman, yeah.
Got a lot of good freshman talent on the team.
Yeah, they do. It's a different time in college athletics,
Yes, it
with
is.
transfer portal and,
Yep.
I know the NAI has changed the way that they look at red shirts.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to be medical anymore, just number of games played. So
Correct.
it's a different place.
Yes.
So
Yes, and really having freshmen on rosters that contribute is pretty rare.
yeah,
But I think you find more of those in top-notch programs because they're spending the time there developing the athletes and not just relying on a lot of transfers to come in and occasionally come in to patch holes in the lineup. But I'm a firm believer that, when you're going to have a good program, you're going to get kids to stay and be engaged and be all in your program for 4 years.
yeah. This is Chris Godden leading off for the Maple Leafs here in the top of the third inning. First two pitches out of the strike zone. So 2 balls and no strikes. 2-0 pitch swung on and missed. I always thought that freshmen at the NAI level were willing to come and sit for a year. But after that, they wanted to play because a lot of them were guys that could maybe play marginally Division I, and they came to Huntington so that they could play rather than sit for 2 or 3 years Division I. So.
Right.
2 balls and 2 strikes here to Godden. Breaking balls down low, takes the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Godden leading off the top of the third for the Maple Leafs, with the Maple Leafs up 1-0. There's a fastball off the outside corner, ball 4. So Godden leads off with a walk. And that brings up Aiden Calvi. Calvi had a base hit his first time up, hit a line drive into right center field for a base hit. Calvi playing shortstop for the Maple Leafs today. Here's the first pitch to Calvi. That's popped up. Looks like it's out of play. Pelletier goes back to the screen, but does not have a play on it. So no balls and 1 strike on Calvi. I know I've told you this just between you and I, but the work that was done on the Plex, I just think is top notch. Just the way that you incorporated, just the nickname for Huntington and the old floor, in the facility. I just think you guys did a really good job with that.
Yeah.
And,
well, we're finishing up our second year in the facility after the renovation was complete, and I still find myself pinching myself from time to time. We're just really blessed by the facility and what it's doing to help with the student experience, student athlete experience. It's really a fun place to be in every day.
0-2 pitch by Calvi's fouled off the right field line. No balls and 2 strikes. Godden at first base led off the inning with a walk. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Calvi. That's swung on a miss for the first out of the inning. That brings up Fernando Marte Santana, the DH for Goshen. So 1 out here in the top of the third inning. There's a breaking ball for a called strike. I appreciate it on the doubleheader basketball days. I know inevitably I was going to get somebody was going to come up to me and tell me that the bathroom fixtures were overflowing. So we'd have to deal with that in the middle of the game. And
those were the days. Yeah.
I think those bathrooms have more square foot now than my first apartment. So. There's a ball hit into center field. That's going to drop in front of Fowler. That's a base hit. Not hit hard, kind of hit off the end of the bat.
Fisted it out there.
So that brings up first baseman A.J. Carrasquillo. First baseman struck out his first time up looking.
Use a double play ball right now.
Yes. First pitch is fouled off of Pelletier for strike one. Looks like we're getting some activity down in the bullpen. Somebody's stretching, kicking, doing all kinds of things down there to get ready. So Maple Leafs leading 1-0 here in the top of the third, and they're threatening again. There's a pitch down low, evens the count at 1-1. Huntington seems to be in a little bit of a funk right now, Lori. They haven't played well, didn't play well last weekend, and so just kind of trying to fight out of that a little bit.
Yeah. Need the bats to heat up a little bit.
Yeah. There's a ball low and outside, ball two balls and one strike.
And you know they have it in them after, 15 home runs in a doubleheader at, was that at Marion? Or
that was up at Bethel.
At Bethel, yeah, that's right.
There's a fastball foul down out of play over the first base dugout. Once again, thankful for the huge tree back there. It saved us a lot of money over the years. So, two balls and two strikes. That thing is huge, right?
Yeah.
So here's the 2-2 pitch. There's a line drive, base hit into right field. That's going to score another run. So that bring up center fielder Nick Padron. As timeout on the field as Foresters pitching coach Mike Machma goes to the mound to talk to Basinski. Once again, there's beginning to be a little bit of action down in the Foresters bullpen. And this may be a visit to just to give that a little bit more time. So nobody throwing yet, but there's some activity down there in terms of the pre-throwing stuff. So
yeah.
So Padron hit a fly ball to left field his last time up. Kind of a sinking line drive that Owen Immel got a nice jump on. This ball is hit on a line into left center field. That's going to score another run. That's going to be a double for Padron. So the Maple Leafs are ahead now 3-0 in the game. And seem to be zeroing in on Masinski. They've hit some balls hard this inning.
Yep. A lot of line drives.
Yep. That'll bring up third baseman Nathan Pinedo. He walked his first time up. Hitting from the left side of the plate. There's a break of ball for a ball. So the Foresters playing back. If they can hit a ground ball anywhere but third base, the Foresters will give up a run here. There's a fly ball hit to deep right center field. It's going to stay in the park, but it's going to be a sac fly. It's going to drive in a run. So the Maple Leafs go up 4-0. And that'll bring up the catcher, Hunter Osborne. Hunter Osborne hit a ground ball on the right side that Owen Willard fielded, but fielded it from his knees. It just did not have time to get up and make a throw to first. First pitch to Oborn is called strike one. Maple Leafs have scored 3 times here in the inning and lead 4-0. Ground ball to shortstop. Kaufman fields, throws. High throw, but Wilson makes a nice play to come off the bag and tag the runner out for the 3rd out of the inning. That saves Huntington another run.
Yeah, that was a great heads-up play.
Good play. So I'm thinking about kicking Lori out of the press box because the Foresters are not doing a whole lot here with her sitting up here.
I'm bringing some bad luck, I think. I need to go down in the dugout and light a fire under some bats.
So I did a kind of a Holy Week devotional.
Yeah, you do that about every year, don't you? That's awesome.
And but I couldn't help when I was all done sharing my thoughts about how they played last weekend. So, and that was a positive way. Just, man, you gotta fight through those tough times. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Everything's not going to go like you want it all the time. And
right.
Tough call in the first game.
Yeah.
But they didn't really show up at all the second game. So.
Yeah. Well, and, as a coach, when you lose something at the end, I guess the message to the team most of the time is, what did we do way before that led us to that point being what determined the outcome. But it doesn't make it any easier to swallow. But, a lot goes into wins and losses. Yeah, I'm most excited about our tennis programs with the men being undefeated right now in the Crossroads League. This is the first year that they've moved the season to spring, the conference season to spring. And so they're 4-0 and have knocked off some of what I think they anticipated being the top contenders with Marion and Grace and Indiana Wesleyan. They have wins under their belt against them. And
wow.
The only other team that's undefeated right now is Goshen. They have not played all of this. They've played more of what is currently in the bottom of the standings. But I think we maybe play them this week, so that would be interesting. But they're having a year and are setting themselves up really well to potentially win the conference.
Good deal.
That's exciting.
Jace Fowler leading off the bottom of the 3rd for HU. There's a 1-1 pitch that's in the dirt. Looked like a changeup. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Time for the Foresters to get something going here. There's a fastball on the outside corner, strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Forester center fielder.
It's been nice to see Jace in the lineup this year after he had to miss last year.
He's a quality player.
Yeah.
Kind of nice to think he's got 2 more years after this. 2-2 pitch, swung on and fouled back. Not sure he's a center fielder. I think that's maybe a position that somebody else may come in next year and play.
Mm-hmm.
But certainly one of the better bats in Huntington's lineup. 2-2 pitch, swung on and fouled off again. I think the league has changed. I think you have to have 3 guys in the outfield that can bang now. Mm-hmm. And you'll deal with whatever defense you get, but they've got to hit.
Yeah.
2-2 pitch again. Oof. Just off the outside corner. Maple Leafs wanted that call.
Yeah, that was a lot of nerves to not swing at that one.
Well, we don't have the center field camera. We have some problems with the wiring out there, and would like to see that from that view.
Yeah.
3-2 pitch. There's a ball in the dirt. Fowler walks.
Bat.
The second walk in the game, and that'll bring up Kiefer Wilson. Wilson came within probably a foot or two of hitting his 12th home run of the season. Hit a ball into deep left center field. Kind of call that Death Valley out there. It's just hard to get a ball out of the park in that area.
And the wind's not helping it much at all today either.
First pitch swung on and missed. Like some kind of off-speed pitch. No balls and one strike. One pitch. That bounces into the catcher. He knocks it down, but the ball rolls away, so Fowler goes to second base. So Huntington has a runner at second base with nobody out. There's a fastball on the outside corner. Count goes to 1-2. One-two pitch fouled off over the first base dugout.
Way to protect the plate on that one.
Kiefer's at his best when he's stays locked on the ball, can hit the ball to right center field and right field. He's got a lot of power that way. Sometimes he gets out in front of things, and if he can stay back and hit the ball the other way, he especially with two strikes.
Yeah.
He's as good as I've seen.
Yeah.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Wilson.
The pitcher really, he keeps his head on the second base runner for a long time, even as he starts his windup. So he doesn't have a lot of time to lock in on the catcher.
Yeah, he does. There's a ball popped up down the right field line. Looks like the first baseman might have had a play but couldn't get there. Every time somebody goes down there, Lori, I'm reminded of Cade Flores when he slid in, caught that ball last year and just destroyed his kneecap.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that keeps the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. I'm always hesitant to talk about injuries because I know of HIPAA. I don't want Chris Burton up here yelling at me.
Yeah, that's right. You get the training staff up here.
Yeah. So the count holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Forster's down 4-0 here in the bottom of the third. They've got a runner at second and nobody out. 2-2 pitch to Wilson. That's a ball outside. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kiefer Wilson. That's a close pitch. That's a tough pitch. Tough pitch to take. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That's swung on a miss, strike 3. So Wilson goes down on strikes. That brings up the DH, Cam Clarkson. Most teams that have gotten the Foresters out this year, it's been away. And just forcing Huntington to make those adjustments. And sometimes they make them, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
So there's a ball hit down the left field line. That's in play. Left fielder's got a bead on it and catches it for the second out of the inning. That brings up the second baseman, Owen Willard. Willard, his first time up, had a base hit in what we would call the shortstop hole between third base and shortstop.
Definitely have a shift on for him. Or maybe it's just the second baseman trying to keep the
Yeah, I think they're playing him to
base
pull.
runner close.
So they're holding him with the second baseman. First pitch is a fastball off the outside corner for ball one. It's a pitch that hits him. So that'll put Willard on at first base and bring up the catcher, Zach Pelletier. Once again, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third. Foresters trying to get on the scoreboard. They had Jace Fowler at second base with nobody out, but Wilson struck out. Clarkson hit a fly ball to left field. So he is still out there. He's been joined by Owen Willard, who was hit by a pitch. That ball was inside, almost hit Pelletier. There's a ball lying down the right field line. 1 ball and 1 strike. You know, you sit up here this time of year and it looks like the whole field is turf.
It does. When the outfield grass is turning green, it's a nice color to see. I was taking one of the candidates around campus on a tour, and they thought the whole field was turf.
It kind of looks that way.
Yeah.
1-1 pitch swung on and missed by Pelletier. So the Maple Leafs and Lynn are 1 pitch away from getting out of the third inning and maintaining that 4-0 lead. Pelletier trying to drive in a big run here with 2 outs and 2 strikes on him. There's a fastball away that's fouled straight back.
Kind of like in basketball, it's like you need to get somebody to take the lid off the basket.
Yeah,
so like,
exactly.
How do you say that in baseball terms?
You throw the bats outside the dugout, try to wake them up, let them rattle around a little bit.
Yeah.
There's a ground ball to shortstop. Shortstop flips to second for the force out, and that's it in the bottom of the third. So Huntington does not score. Strands a leadoff guy at second base, and we'll go to the top of the fourth with the Maple Leafs ahead 4-0. Well, Lori, thanks for joining us. I'm gonna let you go.
All right.
Appreciate you coming up here, and appreciate you digging us into a 4-0 hole while you've been here. But that's all right.
I'll see what I can do about it. Before I go, I just give a shout out to Mom and Dad Color. Gave them the heads up that I was going to be doing a little broadcasting today.
Awesome.
So just giving them a shout out. So it's always good to see you, Michael.
Yep. Thanks for coming up. And maybe we'll do it again. We'll see what's going on in the Mount Vernon series. I always like to have. It's fun to have you up here so you can say, okay, this is what's going on athletically. This is what we're working on. And although I think this is the first time we've had you up, so but I know people out there appreciate hearing that. So
we have a lot going on, a lot of great things that our athletes are doing, and a lot of cool things happening on campus in general, and just happy to be part of it.
Good deal. Well, I got Joanne coming up here at some point. I don't know what she knows. She knows less about baseball than you do. So
that's probably right.
Well, thanks again. I appreciate
you're welcome.
it. So we go to the top of the fourth inning here with the Maple Leafs up 4-0. 3 runs in the top of the third, 1 run in the top of the second. So the Maple Leafs left fielder leads off here in the top of the fourth. This is Nathaniel Muriel. Squares the bunt, fouls off towards the first base dugout. So that'll be a strike. Looks like the Foresters have some activity in the bullpen. Not quite sure who that is. 1 strike pitch to Muriel. That's a breaking ball for called strike 2. So Masinski jumps ahead, no balls and 2 strikes to the Maple Leafs left fielder. Here's the 0-2 pitch, just off the outside corner, fastball, ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 pitch. There's a ground ball to short, fielded by Kaufman. Throw over to Wilson. And that's 1 out here in the top of the 4th. That'll take us back to the top of the lineup for right fielder Chase Smith. He's hit a ground ball to first base and also popped the ball up behind home plate that Pelletier made a nice catch over by the Foresters dugout. First pitch looks like a breaking ball outside for ball 1. There's ball 2. Not quite sure where that pitch was, but it was called a ball. So 2 balls and no strikes up here to Chase Smith. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Good fastball by Masinski and a good swing by Smith. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That ball's fouled sharply down the right field line. Ground ball by first base. And takes the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. I think we're probably getting close to Mashinsky coming out of the game here at some point. There's a breaking ball. Looked like it just slipped out of his hand and was high and outside, ball 3. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to the Maple Leafs leadoff man, their right fielder, Chase Smith. There's a fastball swung on and missed for strike 3. So 2 outs here at the top of the 4th. It brings up the Maple Leaf second baseman, Chris Godden. Godden hit a fly ball to center field, and that's what he's done here again. He walked 1 time. Fowler battling the sun out there, makes the catch. So we'll go to the bottom of the 4th with the Maple Leafs up 4-0. Back here at the bottom of the 4th at Forest Glen Park, Goshen ahead of Huntington 4-0. Lynn has done a nice job on the mound. He's given HU only 2 hits, has walked a couple, has hit a batter, but he's kept the Foresters off balance, and Foresters have not been able to barrel up much of anything. So here at the bottom of the fourth, it will be Reinhardt's, Kaufman, and Immel for the Foresters. 6, 7, 8 in the lineup. Reinhardt's leads off, hit a fly ball to, or pop up to second base his first time up. Sun's coming out here at Forest Glen Park. Boy, it's a beautiful day. Nice and warm. First pitch to Reinhardt's is outside for ball one. Appreciate the two young men that are working here in the press box with me today. One from the big city of Bern and one actually from Goshen. So I don't know what his loyalties are today. We're going to have to check that out. So there's a foul ball hit over the first base dugout. So 1 ball and 1 strike to the freshman from Rochester, Indiana, Tanner Reinhardt's. There's a ball hit into right center field. Right fielder's there. Makes the catch. 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth. Brings up Braden Kaufman, who had a bunt single his first time up. Owen Immel on deck, and then we'll go to the bottom of the order with Cade Flores. Foresters need to get something going here sooner than later. There's a breaking ball away, check swing. They check with the first base umpire. He says no swing. So 1 ball and no strikes. There's a breaking ball for a called strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Kaufman played his high school ball at Westview High School. There's a ball hit into center field. Center fielder on the run. Cannot make the play. Kaufman will go to third base with a stand-up triple. That ball just kept going. I thought that was a pop-up, and it just kept going. So that'll be a triple for Kaufman. Bring up Owen Immel. Immel has hit a ground ball to second base, his only time up. So Goshen looks like they're going to play back and give up a run here. So the Foresters, at the very least, just need to hit a ground ball somewhere and drive in a run. First pitch is swung on and fouled straight back. No balls and 1 strike. Lynn in his 4th inning of work here at Forest Glen has kept the Foresters off the scoreboard. There's a ball away that Immel appeared to be out in front of, maybe a changeup. So no balls and 2 strikes to the Foresters left fielder. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's high and outside, ball 1. No activity in Goshen's bullpen. The Foresters have a little bit of activity down in their bullpen. We can't see what number that is throwing down there. We know it's a right-hander. 1-2 pitch. That's a ball taken outside. Ball 2, 2 balls and 2 strikes. That's a good pitch. Certainly made Immel think about it. Started to swing, checked his swing, and took it for ball 2. 2-2 pitch. That swung on and missed. Fastball up high. So that'll bring Cade Flores to the plate. Flores hit a hard ground ball to second base his first time up. Braden Kaufman at third base had the 1-out triple, now 2 outs, and he's down there. Ball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Oborn. So 1 ball and no strikes. Foresters are in danger of leaving a runner in scoring position for the second straight inning. Leadoff man last inning, couldn't get him around. 1-out triple here, and now there are 2 outs. See what Cade Flores can do. There's a ball, line drive hit into left field. That drives in Kaufman. Good swing by Flores. And that'll get us back to the leadoff man. Jace Fowler in center field today has walked both times up. Well, Kaufman hit that ball right on the line, hit it the other way. That's a good at-bat. So now the Maple Leafs lead 4-1. Fowler's at first base. We'll see if he tries to run in this situation. I would think it's probably an opportunity to run. Even if they throw him out, you've got your leadoff man coming up to lead off the bottom of the 5th. Another throw to first base. Flores back diving. Lynn comes set. There's a pitch to Fowler, up high, ball 1. Breaking ball that just never came down. So 1 ball and no strikes to the Forester center fielder, having a great year. There's a ball, fastball away, way off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes to Jace Fowler. Time is called as the Goshen's coach goes to the mound. I don't know if there's an issue with the pitcher at this point. But they'll have a conversation. So that meeting breaks up on the mound. Home plate umpire and Goshen's coach having a conversation. So we're back to playing baseball here. 2-0 pitch to Jace Fowler. Lynn comes set. Throws to first base. Flores back diving. Lynn's got a good quick move to first. He keeps the runners honest over there. 2-0 pitch. Fastball off the outside corner. Ball 3. 3 balls and no strikes. So if Fowler can get on base, that would bring the tying run to the plate in Kiefer Wilson. Fowler takes a fastball for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike. Here's the 3-1 pitch. It's high and outside, ball 4. So Fowler walks for the 3rd straight at bat, and that'll bring Kiefer Wilson to the plate. Wilson hit a fly ball to center field that almost got out of here his first time up, and then struck out his second time. So as I mentioned, Wilson representing the tying run here in the bottom of the 4th. Forster's trailing 4-1. There's a fastball inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Breaking ball off the outside corner. 2 balls and no strikes. Trying to figure out what the wind's doing, guys, out there. It looks like it wants to blow a little bit every once in a while, but not really a whole lot going on there. 2 balls and no strikes to Kiefer Wilson. There's a line drive hit into center field. They are going to wave Fowler in. He's going to score sliding. And the Foresters have cut the deficit in half here in the bottom of the 4th on an RBI single by Kiefer Wilson. So Flores scores. Fowler goes to second. Wilson's on at first. And that'll bring DH Cam Clarkson to the plate. Clarkson had a fielder's choice his first time. Hit a fly ball to left field last time. There's a fastball in the outside corner called strike 1. Clarkson was early on a changeup and swung over the top of it, so no balls and 2 strikes. The 2 pitch swung on and fouled off. Wilson's used to somebody running for him at first base. You think he knows where second is? Just straight ahead, right? Straight ahead and run to that white thing. Clarkson in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes here. Bottom of the 4th inning. Huntington has scored twice and now trail 4-2 in the game. Tying runs on base. There's a changeup off the outside corner. That's a good pitch. Made Clarkson think about it. One-two pitch to Clarkson. Another changeup off the outside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just does not want to throw him a fastball here. So he's working out outside corner. Cam's got to understand that and try to hit the ball the other way. See who wins the battle here. 2-2 pitch to Clarkson. Another pitch off the outside corner. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So both runners will start. Fowler at second base. Wilson at first. 2 outs, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Cam Clarkson. Runners go. There's a fastball off the outside corner. So Clarkson will walk. That'll bring up Owen Willard with 2 outs and the bases loaded here in the bottom of the 4th. Willard had a single to left field his first time up. Last time up was hit by a pitch. So this is a big at-bat in the inning. First pitch to Willard, swung on and missed. Len seems to be pitching backwards. In fastball counts, he's throwing changeups. That was some kind of off-speed pitch there. Umpire is telling the pitcher that he's got to make sure that the hitter looks at him before he pitches. That's a new rule that happened, I think, last year. So, no balls and a strike. There's a ball down low, breaking ball down low. Low and outside, ball one. Huntington's going to have to be disciplined to try to hit the ball the other way. One pitch. Breaking ball swung through that pitch again. Trying to pull it. So 1 ball and 2 strikes on Owen Willard. Lynn has done a really good job coming in with not great numbers, but he's really thrown the ball well today. 2-strike pitch, swung on and missed. Boy, that's just not a very good at-bat. So we'll go to the top of the 5th inning. Huntington does get 2 runs, but they leave the bases loaded with one of their better hitters at the plate. And we'll go to the top of the 5th with the score 4-2. Going to the top of the 5th inning, the Foresters will make a pitching change. Number 35, Gabe Hamrick, is on the mound for his 10th appearance of the year. He's 0-0 with a 6 ERA in 12 innings pitched. He's given up 18 hits. He struck out 12 and walked 5. So this is a time when Thad would be saying, shutdown inning. Forces have cut into the lead, and Maple Leafs lead 4-2. And coming up for Goshen in this inning, looks like Calvi, Marte Santana, and Carrasquillo. So Calvi had a base hit his first time up, struck out his second time. First pitch from Hamrick is inside for ball 1. Next pitch is a breaking ball over the heart of the plate, strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. The ball is in the dirt, goes to the backstop. 2 balls and 1 strike. Two 1 pitches, called a ball. 3 balls and 1 strike. There's a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Strike two. So after scoring runs in the bottom of the fourth, you do not want to come in and walk the leadoff man. So we'll see what happens. Fastball swung on and fouled back. Gabe working hard. There's a breaking ball inside, ball four. So just not what you wanted to do there. So that'll bring up the DH, Marte Santana. Marte Santana had a base hit his last time up. So Goshen looking to answer those runs that the Foresters scored in the bottom of the fourth. And the Foresters looking to hold them right there and see if they can add some more in the bottom of the fifth. Breaking ball. Called strike, or swung on and strike. Pelletier with the throw to first. Calvi back diving. One ball and one strike. Throw to first from Hamrick. Calvi is back easily. Hamrick comes set. Breaking ball inside. 2-1 the count. Two balls a strike. There's a fastball on the outside part of the plate. Strike two. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good pitch by Hamrick. Two balls and 2 strikes. There's a base hit into center field on a line. So Goshen, first 2 guys have reached here in the top of the 5th inning. And that will bring up first baseman Carrasquillo. See what Goshen does in this situation. Not sure you bunt with your 5-hole hitter, but we'll see. See what they do. Everybody's got a little bit different philosophy on this with runners at first and second and nobody out. Here's a fastball on the outside part of the plate, strike one. He did not square in that situation. Flores has got to stay at home and hope that the pitcher can field the ball. If he does bunt, if the pitcher can't field the ball, then Flores has to come and get it and get the out at first. There's a breaking ball inside. Hamrick doesn't have good command of the breaking ball yet. It's been inside, it's been outside. So 1 ball and 1 strike to the Maple Leafs first baseman. There's a fastball away that Carrasquillo swings through. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Top of the 5th inning, Goshen leading 4-2. Runners at first and second, nobody out. 1-2 pitches way outside, ball 3. I think that was a breaking ball again. Just doesn't have a command on it yet. There's a fastball, threw it by him. That's the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Nick Padron, the Goshen center fielder. There's a ball hit the second base. It's misplayed by the second baseman. He tried to come in and get it in the air and couldn't do it. And so the ball goes by him into right center field. I'm not sure what that's going to be. But now the base is loaded with one out. And that'll bring up Nick Pinito. So the Foresters will play back, trying to get a double play. There's a fastball up and away. One ball and no strikes. Pinito was walked and hit a fly ball to left field his first two times up. Swung on and missed. Count goes to 1-1. So Hamrick's looking for an out here, maybe two. There's a fastball for called strike two. Benito playing third base here today. There's a one-strike pitch blocked by Pelletier. Ball was in the dirt. Two balls and two strikes. Bases are full of Maple Leafs here in the top of the fifth inning with Nick Pinito at the plate. There's a called strike three. Guys, I never know if Bob's going to call that strike or not. It's kind of a delayed call, isn't it? So two outs. That'll bring Hunter Oborn up. There's a breaking ball up high. One ball and no strikes. Oborn has had a base hit and then a ground ball to short as last time up. There's a fastball swung on and fouled straight back. Going to have a good friend Heath Luther join us here as soon as he gets a headset on. There's a 1-1 pitch just off the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike. So Hamrick looking for another out here in the top of the fifth to see if he can keep the score right where it is at 4-2. There's a pitch called strike 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes and 2 outs. Twosies, right?
Twosies. Got to be shaking the hat.
That's right. I don't see any hat shaking going on down there. We're going to have to educate these boys on what to do. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The ball is popped up. Pelletier makes the catch in front of the third base dugout. So the Maple Leafs get the bases loaded, but Hamrick shuts the door, keeps the score at 4-2. So we'll go to the bottom of the fifth with the Maple Leafs 4 and Huntington 2. Got one of the baseball legends here in the press box with me, Heath Luther. Heath went to Fort Wayne Northrop High School, was a great wrestler, and came to Huntington. When did you come? Fall of
97.
Fall of 97. Yep. Played here 4 years. Tell the folks what you did when you were done playing.
Well, I was fortunate enough after senior year to have a shot with the Angels for a couple years, and got to experience minor league baseball for a few years. Obviously, it becomes a whole different world when you get to that level. It quickly becomes a business, and it isn't necessarily about the game a lot of times.
It's kind of dog eat dog, right?
It is. You learn real quick. That you're a commodity, and I don't necessarily blame those organizations because they're paying certain guys a lot of money, and so but it definitely a different vibe at the next level.
Yeah,
for sure.
They look at your age a lot too. Well, he's too old to play at this level. He's too old. We've got some younger guys that, maybe are not quite as good as he is yet, but they're going to develop.
Right.
I mean, it turns into that. And I didn't play pro ball, but I know just from talking to guys that have been here that have played pro ball. So
it is, again, the age thing's big. Especially playing, A-ball, short season A-ball with teams that have Dominican leagues and things like that. When you can sign 16-year-old international players, age becomes definitely a factor.
So Zach Pelletier leads off here at the bottom of the fifth for Huntington. Huntington trailing 4-2. Pelletier hit a fielder's choice his first time up, and then a ground ball to short his second time up. So he's 0 for 2. Lynn in his fifth inning of work. Pelletier fouls off a ball straight back.
Huntington needs to put something together here soon.
Yep.
Scratch some more runs across.
We need a big hit. We just have struggled with runners in scoring position. And, I know Willard's not trying to have a bad at-bat, but that was a bad at-bat, in the bottom of the fourth with the bases loaded. And but good job by Hamrick keeping them where they're at. And so Zach Pelletier, 1 ball and 2 strikes on the Foresters catcher. There's a ball that bounces in front of home plate. Count goes to 2-2. Just seem like they're in a little bit of a funk, Heath. I don't know. Maybe that started with having a lot of success offensively up at Bethel and coming in here and get smacked around by St. Francis, 3 out of 4. So those things happen. You got to fight your way out of them.
To your point with the big at bats and runners in scoring position, there's got to be a mentality shift with runners on third, second, or third, and less than 2 outs that we've got to make the defense make a play.
Yeah,
we have
exactly. There's a hard ground ball to third base. Throw to first, 1 out. So Pelletier grounds out sharply to the third baseman. That'll bring up Tanner Reinhardt's. Reinhardt's is 0 for 2. Fly ball to second, fly ball to right. This team is at their best when they look to hit the ball the other way. You sit up here and you see pitchers pitching backwards. Everything's away, 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 and we're out in front of stuff. It's almost like you need to have a 2-strike approach.
Well,
Hitting the ball backside through the middle and
in-game adjustments, right?
Yep.
From at bat to a bat, from pitch to pitch, figuring out what the pitcher's trying to do, figuring out what the coaches are trying to do and how they're trying to pitch you, and adjust as it sits. But I still go back to runner on third base, less than 2 outs. We've got to, whether you want to call it choking up, whether you want to, a B swing.
There's a ball hit by Reinhardt into left field. That's going to be over the left fielder's head. Bounces against the fence. And Reinhardt will cruise into second with a stand-up double. Some of it, Heath, just boils down to, with 2 strikes, you've got to decide, you're not striking me out. I'm going to put the ball in play.
You are not beating me.
Yeah, especially with runners on base. And little timeout here on the field. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change. Orlin did a really nice job. Comes out with 1 out here in the 5th inning. Did you guys get a number here for this guy?
It's like number 23.
23. 23. Looks like this is Kenny Ayala. He's 0-1 with a 7.30 ERA. This is his 11th appearance. 12 innings pitched. He struck out 6 and walked 11. So the Foresters might want to start out being a little bit choosy here, Heath.
Yeah, and obviously, Coach, there's a lot of different philosophies in hitting. Going back to your conversation about just kind of being that bulldog with 2 strikes. I think that's a big part of scratching some more of these runs across. But my philosophy, and this kind of carries back to even when I was playing. Being a pitcher and a position player. As a pitcher, you're always told what's the best pitch in baseball. It's first pitch strike, right?
Yep.
Let's get ahead.
Yep.
And as a hitter, I try to carry that mentality in of this guy wants to get ahead of me. If his one pitch is a curveball, then I'm going to sit first pitch curveball because he's going to try and get it in the zone. I want to be aggressive early. And obviously the analytics show at just about any level, batting averages are much, much higher 0-0, 1-0 than what they are 1-2, 3-2. So I always tried to have conversations with my players over the years coaching that, hey, let's be aggressive early. There are times, right, when we need to scratch some runs across or we need to be a little bit more selective. But the bad side of that is, especially start the game, you're aggressive early. The other side of that is letting pitchers stay in the game longer than what they should because their pitch count's low. And so it comes with pros and cons for sure.
So Braden Kaufman will be the first hitter to face Ayala. Kaufman is 2 for 2 on the day. Had a bunt single his first time up, and the last time up he hit a ball into right center field that the center fielder could not run down, and Kaufman ended up at third base.
It's good to see Braden having a little bit of success. I know he's been a little frustrated at the plate. Obviously, seen quite a few games this year, and probably hasn't swung the bat like he's hoped that he has. But there's still time left in the season. As long as he continues to work at it, I think good things are going to happen.
I think Huntington may be at their best with him in the lineup.
He's really good defensively.
First pitch. That's a breaking ball for a called strike 1. To your point, if you know something about what you're coming in to face, a lot of people call that ambushing the pitcher. I'm going to go up there and sit on a fastball, and I'm going to ambush it. I know it's coming. Look for it. I'm going to put a good swing on it. They talk about that at the professional level quite a bit. There's a ball hit hard down the left field line.
Well, that ambush is a lot, to your point, based on who's on the mound, and that ambush might not be a fastball. That ambush might be a breaking pitch, right?
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
Knowing what you're, and that's really happens by paying attention during the game as a player in the dugout. Watching the game, watching how pitchers are throwing, watching where the catchers are setting up, and going from there. But see, that right there is what we're talking about. Runner on second base, less than 2 outs. Let's at least try and push the ball to the right side at that point in time.
Well, that's a swing that's not even close to being in the strike zone. That ball is in the left-handed hitting batter's box, and Kaufman swings through it for the second out of the inning. There's a ball that bounces at home plate. That brings up Owen Immel. Immel hit a ground ball to second base and then struck out his last time. There's a ball down low. Cade Flores on deck. There's a 2-0 pitch that drops into the strike zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. There's a fly ball to center field.
Just got under it.
That'll be a can of corn. Third out of the inning. So the Foresters strand Reinhardt's at second base. And we'll go to the top of the 6th inning with the score still Huntington trailing the Maple Leafs 4-2. You know, as I watch these guys hit, it seems to me that everybody that we see that has success against Huntington, unless they've got the upper 90s fastball and that kind of thing, which very few people have, is everybody's pitching Huntington away. And the question is, can Huntington be disciplined enough not to jump at the pitch, to stay back, let the ball get deep, and hit the ball the other way? And as I mentioned earlier, I think when Lori was up here, sometimes they can do that and sometimes they can't. And that defines, you know, their day sometimes, is whether they can do that.
Well, and again, I think a lot of that obviously is a conversation that has to be consistent throughout the season from player to player and coaches to player. You know, from a coach's standpoint, you know, over the years, you know, my philosophy always was we're going to try and hit that fastball, all fastballs, middle away as best we can. And that way, on a breaking pitch, if we're out in front of it, we're at least on time with it. We're going to be able to pull it down the line at that point in time. But, you know, I'm focusing middle away with most fastballs.
Well, I mean, I know the coaches are working on it because I'm at practice enough and I know what they work on down here. And it's just guys being able to take that and consistently, they can do it. I've seen them do it,
right,
but consistently do that. And so
it's the execution. It's a lot easier said than done sometimes.
Absolutely.
Right?
This is number 31, left fielder Nathaniel Murrell. Murrell is 1 for 2 on the day. Had a base hit his first time up, hit a ground ball to short last time. The 0-1 pitch is in the dirt. Ball 1. Boy, there's no wind out there now, Heath.
It's pretty heavy air down there. I had on long sleeves and a vest when I showed up, and I quickly moved over to a T-shirt and wish I had shorts with me.
So 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's Hamrick's pitch. There's a ground ball to first base. See, that's a ball that Kiefer's got to let the second baseman have, but they've just not been down there that much together.
Right.
But good job from Masinski for covering first base. It was a ground ball hit slowly in the hole between first and second, and Wilson went for the ball, which meant the only play was Masinski had to cover first, and he did just in time.
That's Hamrick, Coach.
Excuse me, Hamrick. Yeah. You're right. Okay. That takes us back up to the top of the order in Chase Smith, who's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. There's a 1-0 pitch. That's inside from Hamrick. Ball 2.
I don't think I have to worry about getting fined for this, but I have not been impressed with the level of umpiring this season that I've seen.
Well,
it just the inconsistency, I guess, is really what I think has probably been the most frustrating part.
There's a ground ball foul at first base. I just know that I've set up here a lot of times, and at the end of the game, I'm still not quite sure what the strike zone is or where it is. And you know as well as I do, if I just know where the strike zone is, I can deal with that.
Right.
And if you're going to be consistent with that, that's great. That's fine. That's fine. I can deal with that. I can't deal with not knowing where it's at. And there's a breaking ball outside. Hamrick just not have a command on that breaking ball.
That's usually Gabe's A pitch. He's usually got that in the zone pretty well.
There's a fastball, great location, low and in. And Smith strikes out swinging for the second out of the inning.
That's the one thing with pitchers, though, Coach. You know, obviously having thrown a little bit very rarely as a pitcher are you always going to have your ace stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and so you got to figure out a way to make those adjustments in game to find that curveball or find that changeup.
Sometimes you got to make those adjustments from warming up in the bullpen to when the game starts, right, on the mound.
Absolutely.
And you're just not quite sure. I know when I used to call pitches, there's a fastball outside 2-0. This is Chris Godden. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. If there was a pitch that the pitcher didn't have that I'm going to need at some point, I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it with 2 strikes, knowing it's going to be a ball. But we've got to at least show it to the hitter, and we've got to have the pitcher in account that he can work on that.
Yep.
And maybe we can bring that in throughout the course of the game. 3 balls and no strikes here on Chris Godden. There's a fastball for a strike.
Gabe's had a really good year. Today just seems like maybe he's feeling off a little bit, and so this is where the compete comes out, right? I'm going to figure out how to make the adjustment and get back in the zone and get back right now like this, back into the account, getting back 3-2.
Yeah, he's crawled back into the at-bat. He's 1 strike away from ending the inning. And here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and fouled straight back. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Well, Forster's a little bit short-handed with no Stenson and no Newman here in this series. There's a ground ball to third. Throw from Flores to first. Scooped by Wilson. That's the 3rd out of the inning. So that's a nice job all the way around. From Hamrick on the mound to Fowler at third to Wilson at first, scooping that low throw. So the Foresters will have 9-1-2 up to the plate. So tell the folks out there what you're doing now.
I am the parks director for a town east of Indianapolis called Fortville.
Okay.
Fortville, McCordsville area, just basically right on the Fishers, Hancock County, Hamilton County line. Doing everything from writing grants to working on baseball fields to,
Okay.
all the fun stuff that comes along with running some parks. So get to sit on a mower a lot like you do.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Those are honestly some of the better days, right? Put in the headphones and just hop on a mower and
The grass is not going to talk back to you.
Correct.
And you can always see what you've done.
Yes.
Get immediate feedback. For those of you that don't know, Heath is up here because his son Dylan is a freshman on the baseball team here. He's got some playing time. Couple at bats, got his first collegiate hit. So
he has not gotten a hit yet.
I thought he got a hit.
No. He's been hit and walked, I can tell you that.
Okay. I thought he got a hit, and I forget who it was. But
Yeah.
So he's an outfielder, and so leading off for the Foresters is Cade Flores, who's hit a ground ball to second base. He also had an RBI single his last time up. 2 strike, 2 out, RBI single, hit the ball the other way. There's a fastball inside. Bottom of the 6th here at Forest Glen. Maple Leafs up 4-2. Breaking ball up high. 2 balls and no strikes. Doesn't look like any activity in the bullpen for either team right at the moment.
Well, speaking of hitting the ball the other way, Cade Flores is one of those players that does a good job of going backside.
Yeah.
A lot of times he's unfortunately had, I think, a few hits taken away from him a couple of times on the backside, left fielder being in a little bit shallower than normally played. But Cade does a good job of shooting that ball to that side.
Not sure what that was all about. One plate umpire went to the mound, had a discussion with the pitcher. 2 balls and 1 strike. There's a breaking ball up high. I know the new rule is that with 8 seconds to go at least, you've got to focus your eyes on the pitcher. And the pitcher is not allowed to throw until you look up as a hitter. And
so somebody asked me this question earlier, and I think I know the answer to it, but I'm not positive. What is the rule from – does the pitch have to be thrown before it hits zero, or does the pitcher have to be in their motion before it hits zero?
I think the ball has to be in his motion before it hits zero.
But not out of his hand per se.
Right. 3-2 pitch to Flores is high and outside, ball 1. We'll go to the top of the order, and that'll bring up Jace Fowler, who's walked 3 times today.
This is where we
Foresters have a good start to the bottom of the 6th.
Jace to find a pitch right here and hit it hard somewhere.
First pitch to Fowler's a fastball up high, ball 1.
Big gap in right center field.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. They're playing him to hit the ball the other way, aren't they?
They are.
1-0 pitch to Fowler is in for a called strike, 1-1 to count.
Yeah, that right fielder is way off the line compared to most lefties.
Hit the ball to the gate in right center field, you can run for a while. 1-1 pitch, that's called strike 2. Pitch on the outside corner. Once again, these pitchers continue to be away.
Which may play into that shift that they got going on in the outfield
Could
right
be,
now.
yeah. There's called strike 3. A breaking ball that Fowler gave up on. So the first out of the inning, called strike 3 on Jace Fowler, and that'll bring up Kiefer Wilson to the plate. Wilson is 1 for 3, had an RBI single his last time. There's a ball on the outside corner once again. Strike 1.
I'm hoping that being out from behind the plate for a few games maybe helps him recover a little bit faster and gets his legs back up underneath of him a little bit.
Well, he tweaked his arm a little bit, I think. Not an injury, but just had cramping in his forearm. And so that's why they just trying to be very cautious with him. 1-1 pitch is a ball that grounded to the third base dugout.
Caught a lot of innings this year. I think he's caught every inning but 3 up
He has, yeah.
That's just tough on your body.
Yep.
I don't care if you're young or not.
There's a 1-2 pitch fouled off on the right side over the first base dugout.
He's definitely got the frame of anybody to handle it, though.
There's a ball down outside, ball 2. Well, at the beginning of the year, the conversation was Ankenbrock, Pelletier, Wilson. We're going to go, left field, first base, catcher, and we're going to rotate those guys. And Johnny has struggled a little bit offensively, so they've kind of gotten away from that. Although Johnny's looks like he's starting to swing it a little bit better here of late. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kiefer Wilson, representing the tying run with Cade Flores at first. There's a ball up high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So we'll see if we run here. I think you almost have to. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Got some speed at first base. We'll see if he runs. He doesn't. And there's a ball popped up in the infield. And fortunately for the Foresters, that's dropped by the catcher. And that was a very awkward swing. I didn't understand that swing.
It tied him up a little bit. Got in on him. those are the situations, though, you got to make this hurt as a hitter. You get that extra opportunity. Let's put a good swing on a baseball right here.
Another ball popped up, out of play, beyond the first base dugout.
I don't know if that's a true slider or more of a cutter, but it's definitely getting in on his hands.
It's doing something. Looked like it was darkening up over there, so I was looking at the radar on my phone. I don't see anything out there.
I've been checking it periodically, too. I've had the same thought. I know we're supposed to get some at some point.
Yep. 3 balls and 2 strikes here to Kiefer Wilson again. There's a ball fouled off down the right field line. So Ayala is throwing him, and Wilson's fouling him off.
Just got to compete in the box right here. Just keep competing.
There's a ground ball back to the pitcher. He throws to first. Flores was running on the pitch, so he goes to second base. 2 outs, and now to bring Clarkson up. Clarkson is 0 for 2 with a walk. He's hit 2 fly balls to left field. Fly ball to left field, a fielder's choice. And as I mentioned, he walked his last time up. There's a ball off the outside corner. Ball 1.
I would imagine Goshen's going to continue to stay away from Cam in this situation with first base open.
There's a breaking ball that stays outside, ball 2. Cam represents the tying run here in the bottom of the 6th. Ayala turns and spins and throws to the shortstop at second base. Fowler's back standing. Here's the 2-0 pitch to Clarkson. That's swung on and missed. Once again, fastball away.
Yep, Cam took a healthy hack at that one. Flew open a little bit. I know what he's trying to get the ball down to the right side.
Yep.
You can't do that with that pitch.
So the 2-1 pitch, that's a breaking ball that stays up high. 3 balls and a strike. Owen Willard on deck. There's a ground ball. Base hit to right field. Flores will score. Clarkson comes through with 2 outs and an RBI single to right, and the Foresters cut the advantage to 1. It's now 4-3 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. That will bring up Owen Willard to the plate. Willard is 1 for 2 with the base hit. Struck out his last time.
Cam did a good job of hitting right there.
Yeah.
Didn't try and do too much with it. Pitcher made a mistake in the inner half, and he was able to turn on it and hit it through that 3-4 hole.
First pitch to Willard is a breaking ball that stays outside, ball 1. There's a breaking ball on the outside part called strike. You know, I've watched Cam in the fall and this spring. Just he's become a disciplined hitter.
Yes.
And, you know, he was always known for his power. And but he's become much more than that. Hit the ball to the left side or to left field, center field quite a bit. And Willard fouls off the 1-1 pitch. Count goes to 1-2.
I know, and you'd have to look at the numbers, but I would venture to say that half of Cam's doubles this year have been backside doubles to left center field.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's a fastball up high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. You'd love to think about running for him here, but you can't re-enter him.
Correct. Yep.
And so you got to live with it. 2 balls and 2 strikes. There's a line drive into left field. That was a hanging breaking ball. So Willard with the base hit to left field, his second hit of the game, and that'll bring up Zach Pelletier, who's 0 for 3, hit the ball hard the last time, hit the ball hard to the third baseman.
Zach is one of those kids that seems like he wants to be up in this situation.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And so this is a good spot to be in if you're Huntington right now.
There's a fastball for a called strike. I think Pelletier was looking for something else there. Maybe to your point, looking for that breaking ball.
Right.
0-1 pitch, healthy cut, fouled off over the first base dugout. Looks like there's some activity going. A left-hander down in Goshen's bullpen. No balls and 2 strikes to Pelletier. Swung on and fouled off again. Fastball away. There's a foul ball, or ball chopped at home plate foul. My 2 sisters and my cousin are sending me pictures of flowers. I'm working here.
I just thought you'd want to see him, Coach.
So I'm just like,
brighten your day up a little bit.
I guess. But be brighten up my day a lot if Pelletier got a hit here.
I would agree with that statement. Battle here, shoot the ball to that right center field gap.
Boy, look at that hole on the right side.
Yeah.
Ground ball on the right side. That's a hit. Pelletier fouls off another ball into the third base dugout. Hanging tough. Swing the bat, you're dangerous, right?
Absolutely.
So once again, the 0-2 pitch to Pelletier is a fastball off the outside corner. Good pitch, but it was off the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a ball in the dirt. Catcher knocks it down. Keeps it from going to the backstop. Keeps runners where they are, which is Willard at first and Clarkson at second. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes on Pelletier.
Twosies again.
Twosies, yep. There's a ground ball right there. Ground ball in the right field hole. Here comes Clarkson to the plate, and he is out. And the catcher's upset about something from the Maple Leafs. I'm not sure what that is. That's a good slide into the plate. So the Maple Leafs throw the tying run out at the plate in the bottom of the 6th inning. Good piece of hitting by Pelletier. And we'll go to the top of the 7th with the score Huntington trailing the Maple Leafs 4-3.
That's tough as a third base coach right there. You know he's a tying run. You know you want to score him. You're trying to be aggressive. There's not really a right answer in that situation. You know what runner you have at second base. Obviously, to your point earlier, you can't really run for Cam without killing your DH and one of your better hitters. Yeah. So you got to kind of let the cards fall where they may. And
I think with 2 outs, you score him every time. And even if they throw him out, they throw him out. But
right fielder's credit. He threw a dart, 1 hop, right through the cutoff man.
Yes, he did. So we'll go to the 7th now. This is a 9-inning game. Next game will be a 7-inning game. We'll go to the 7th with the Maple Leafs ahead 4-3.
Looks like you got a change in center field.
Parker in center field.
Parker's in center field. Jace moves over to left.
Aiden Calvey leads off for the Maple Leafs here in the top of the 7th. Calvey's 1 for 2 with a walk. First pitch from Hamrick is a ball down low, 1-0. So who came out of the game then?
Owen Immel, it looks like,
Owen,
came out of the
okay.
game.
Okay.
Yep. I would imagine Owen will re-enter if his spot comes back up.
Yeah. There's the 1-0 pitch fouled off the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lots of activity down in the Maple Leafs bullpen. Left-hander still throwing. 1 ball and 1 strike here to the Maple Leaf shortstop. It's a ball inside. Looked like Calvey was hoping that would hit him. It didn't. There's another ball fouled off down the right field side. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Aiden Calvey, leading off here for the Maple Leafs in the top of the 7th. There's a fastball inside. Ball 3 balls and 2 strikes.
No free bases here.
Can't do it, not leading off the inning. 3-2 pitch is fouled off in the same general area on the first base side. Three-two pitch again. There's a ground ball to second base. Gobbled up by Willard. Throw to first. And 1 out here leading off the top of the 7th. Pretty good at bat by Calvey. So this brings up Marte Santana, who's had a couple hits on the day. First pitch down low, ball 1. One-zero pitch. It's a fastball for a called strike. Marte Santana did not like that call. Here's the 1-1 pitch. There's a base hit to right field. Guy can hit.
He's got a pretty good swing.
Yes, he does. So that's his 3rd hit of the game. So that brings up the first baseman, Carrasquillo. I feel like every time I say that, I'm saying it wrong, but I'm working at it. He's 1 for 3 at a base hit. Struck out his last time up. There's a fastball down, swung on and missed. Well, Goshen looking to get that run back from the bottom of the 6th, and Huntington looking for a ground ball to get out of the inning. Pitch fouled off right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Carrasquillo.
Ground ball here would definitely be nice.
Yep. Nick Padron is on deck for the Maple Leafs. There's a ground ball up the middle. Kaufman tags. Oh, no, he doesn't tag. Looked like he tagged the runner, but the base umpire says no. That'll be a base hit for Carrasquillo. Bring up Padron. Well, the base umpire's right there, but yet the angle that he had, I'm not sure he knows if he tagged him or not.
That's a tough call when you're facing that play right there, and BK's back is to the umpire. It's going to be a little bit tougher to see, but you got to be pretty confident in that call right there to make that, because he was obviously the quote unquote ball beat him. But
this is what kind of drives me crazy. Is what is the plate umpire going to share with him?
Right.
That's going to help him here.
Right.
It's like the other day. What is a plate umpire going to share in that situation? And I don't know if they're okay. That brings up number 32, Nicole. Brings up number 32, Nick Padron. He is 1 for 3 with a double. First pitch, there's a ground ball right side.
50 out.
Willard fields it. Underhands to first base for the out. The runners move up. So there's runners at second and third now. That's going to bring up Nathan Pinedo, the third baseman. You know, most people in the league played yesterday, didn't they? I think Wesleyan is playing Mount Vernon now.
Did they move games up?
Or excuse me, Marion's playing Mount Vernon now. Well, they were originally scheduled to play yesterday because the league's trying not to play on Good Friday, and you can move a game this weekend to Good Friday, but you're not supposed to schedule it. So big out here, or big at bat here in the game. Nick Pinedo, he is 1 for 2 with a walk. Struck out his last time up. First pitch is a called strike on the outside corner.
I know you guys got a lot more rain up here than what we got down in central Indiana over the last couple days.
1 strike pitch, and that's hit deep into right center field. But there goes Parker. Parker's going to run down just about anything out there if it hangs up at all. And so Parker Richard with the fly ball out. Pinedo's out to end the inning on the fly ball to Parker. So we'll go to the bottom of the 7th with the Foresters trailing 4-3. Reinhardt's, Kaufman, and Immel are scheduled to be up.
What's the, and you might not be able to share this, I don't know, what's the diagnosis for Declan Thompson? When's he expected to be back?
Well, I've heard a couple different things, and the people I talked to before he had surgery, and it was not really sure. It could be a couple weeks, it could be 6 weeks. I think what the coaches are hoping for and what Chris, the trainer's hoping for. And once again, I don't want to get a HIPAA violation here, but I think they're hoping to get him back healthy by the league tournament.
By league tournament.
That's what I think that would be a best case scenario for them. And that's a hole in their lineup. He was having a good year, and you've got to move some guys around a little bit. So,
we talk about some of those guys that love the game and are kind of dirt dogs. To me, just watching him play, he's one of those kids that just wants to compete and wants to be out there, and obviously it is a loss anytime you lose a player in general, but somebody that's had been leading off for you and playing multiple positions for you.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, he's a great kid. There are times he'll do things, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? But he's always going to play hard. He's always going to bring energy. He's going to compete.
Right.
And so you're exactly right. So Tanner Reinhardt leads off here in the bottom of the second. He's 1 for 3 in the game with a double.
As a coach, you can always forgive a lot of those mistakes if somebody's doing it aggressively. Right?
Exactly. And if somebody's willing to learn.
Right.
Hey, let's not make that same mistake again, kind of thing. But, yeah, you always want to reward that competitiveness. There's the 1-0 pitch called strike 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. There's a ball hit high down the right field line. Foul ball. You never know down there. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tanner Reinhardt's leading off the inning. Reinhardt's came in hitting .287 with 9 home runs and 33 runs batted in. He's had a good year for a freshman.
He has. He's got some adjustments he's got to make on some breaking pitches and learning to go with that outside breaking ball.
No doubt.
But this kind of goes back to Johnny as well. I don't care how good you are coming out of high school. It's an adjustment to college.
Yeah.
It is 100% an adjustment.
2-2 pitch. Swung on and hit the right field. Right fielder makes the catch right in front of the warning track. So that's the first out of the inning. Brings up Braden Kaufman, who's 2 for 3 on the day. Had a bunt single, had a triple, struck out his last time up. You're talking about dealing with the breaking ball as a freshman. There's a fastball for a strike. Declan Thompson's the same way.
Right.
But he's made good strides in that this year because the coaches in the other dugout, you look bad on a breaking ball, guess what? You're going to see a bunch of breaking balls. So,
speaking of breaking ball.
Yep, Kaufman with a line drive hit it to left center field, and Kaufman comes out of the box running hard and goes all the way, keeps running to second. Left fielder and center fielder were a little bit slow getting the ball back into the infield. So
that's how you're supposed to play the game, right?
So 1 out double for Braden Kaufman. So Ankenbrook will hit for, I guess he's hitting for Richards, right? Parker.
Should be Parker.
Who was in the game for Owen Immel. I got all that right? I think so.
Well, it makes sense with a lefty on the mound.
Yep. First pitch to Ankenbrock is a fastball off the outside corner, ball 1. Johnny got off to not a very good start, but it's really showed signs of coming around here in the last couple. games in terms of at-bats. 2 balls and no strikes. Supremely talented young man. But to Heath, to your point, it's different in college, right? I mean, you got to make that adjustment. And
Yeah,
there's a breaking ball low and inside, ball 3. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, this obviously is a phenomenal recruiting class coming in. The flip side of that, right, is they're still young 18-year-old freshman kids, and it's a different speed of the game.
So Ankenbrock walks on 4 pitches. And that'll bring up Cade Flores.
I can't imagine Cade being Cade, not trying to lay down a bunt right here.
Yeah.
But you're going back to Johnny and even Tanner for that matter. And, I mean, some of your younger pitchers from Max Engel to Kai Newman, I mean, it's just an adjustment. Guys are bigger, faster, stronger. Breaking balls are tighter. Hitters are better. Some guys can adjust fairly quick, and some guys it takes them a season.
Well, and you look at the young talent on this team. There's a ton of guys that are going to be really good players at this level. Cade squares, takes a strike.
If I'm hitting for Cade right now and I'm squaring around a bunt, I am trying to push this thing as hard as I can to second base, get it past the left-handed pitcher and get it past that first baseman and see if you can't make something happen here.
Didn't bunt it hard enough.
Throw.
Bunts it back to the pitcher. Pitcher throws the ball down the right field line. 1 run scores. Kaufman scores to tie the game. Ankenbrock goes to third and Cade goes to second. So a good idea. He just didn't bunt it hard enough, but the first baseman and the pitcher just didn't communicate at all on that. And
make them make a play.
Yep.
It comes down to that a lot in baseball. Crazy things happen all the time.
Well, the Foresters have clawed their way back into this thing, and they are now tied with the Maple Leafs at 4. Runners at second and third and 2 outs, and Jace Fowler will be at the plate. Fowler's 0 for 1, struck out his last time, but walked 3 times leading up to that. And I think one of the key at-bats of this inning was Ankenbrock. You know what I mean? Not expanding the strike zone. And yeah. And
that's easy to do when you're not swinging the bat well.
Oh, yeah.
Because you want to have success and you want to, you want to help your team and do things at the plate. But sometimes that can come at a cost, to your point, by expanding the strike zone.
So it looks like the Maple Leafs will bring their infield in for left-handed hitting Jace Fowler. First pitch is ball inside. So the left-hander Ayala against the left-handed hitting Fowler. Infield in, trying to cut the run off at the plate. There's a fastball up high. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, I don't think there's anything that you're going to get here that you're not going to get later on in the at-bat. You know what I mean?
You've got to be very selective.
Yeah,
right here.
so I don't know that you need to hit here. There's a breaking ball inside, ball 3-0.
I know you don't necessarily want to have Kiefer Wilson up to bat with the lefty on the mound, but you got first base open right here. You keep the double play in order if Fowler's on first. So
There's a fastball hit, through behind him. So Jace will walk for the 4th time. And I would assume that'll be it for the left-hander. So I'm like you. I don't know that I want the left-hander trying to get Wilson out, but we'll see. So Wilson up with the bases loaded, 1 out. Forsters have come back to tie the game 4-4 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. First pitch to Wilson is a fastball inside. One 1-0 pitch is a ball that Wilson fouls down the right field line.
Kiefer needs to stay within himself right here.
Yeah.
Just find a good pitch to hit, drive a baseball somewhere.
Stay inside the ball here. 1-1 pitch to Wilson. That's swung on and fouled the same area. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
This goes back to our conversation earlier, Coach. You got it's 1-2. Put the ball in play and make him do something with it.
Because they're back for a double play here. 1-2 pitch to Wilson. Swung on and missed. Lord have mercy. So that's the second out of the inning. Wilson strikes out again. And that brings up Clarkson, who's 1 for 3 with a walk.
I'm feeling good about Cam right now.
First pitch to Clarkson is a fastball in the outside corner for a strike. Forster's looking for a big hit. The Maple Leafs looking for a big out. There's a fastball in the outside corner again. Strike 2. I think at some point, Heath, you got to go up looking for that. And we don't
agree.
I don't know that we do that a lot. It's not the pitch I want. So, but
It's going to stay in.
Clarkson hits a fly ball down the left field line that drops for a foul ball. You know what I mean? I know it's
Absolutely.
not. It's you got to change. You got to adjust during the game, and you work on this in practice. You work on this every day in practice.
Well, and it's
0-2 pitch, fastball up high.
having those real-time conversations as a dugout in general throughout the game that, hey, this is what they're doing. Let's start making these adjustments, talking and communicating to your teammates, and it's a good take.
1-2 pitch is a curveball down low. Count goes to 2-2.
And now you're back even. Now we're put the pressure on the pitcher, make him come to you.
There's a chopper to second base. That's going to end the inning. So Forsters just cannot get it done in key situations. Wilson strikes out with the bases loaded. Willard strikes out with the bases loaded early. Clarkson hits a weak ground ball with the bases loaded there. And those are arguably your best hitters. And
Well, I can appreciate this, right? With some of these hitters understand that the situations they're in. Sometimes I get the vibe that they're just trying to do too much instead of just staying within themselves and competing. It's I need to get this all back in one swing, and I need to, hit a line drive gap shot when really we just to Zach's credit earlier, just a backside single in the 3-4 hole at that point in time.
Who we got pitching here now, guys?
That is Carter Wilkinson.
Carter Wilkinson. That's what I thought. Carter Wilkinson comes in here in the top of the 8th inning, trying to keep the score where it is right now. Wilkinson's 0-0. This is his 3rd appearance on the year. 3 innings pitched. Has struck out 6 and walked none. So good start for him.
Another freshman.
Yeah.
So I got the chance to be around Carter a little bit this summer leading into, obviously, these guys' freshman year with that team that I was helping with Mark Engel and the Engel boys. And I like Carter. He's a good ball player. He competes on the mound. He stays in the zone. He makes you beat him. by hitting the baseball. Carter's going to be a good little player for Thad over the next 4 years. And apparently, some sort of cousin to me. So
Really?
yeah. So his mom on my father's side, I believe his mom is the daughter of my father's cousin. So I think that's how that goes. Dad, text me if I'm wrong.
Well, we'll go to the top of the 8th inning here. Hitting for the Maple Leafs, number 28. What did Chance say his name was?
Joel
Burkholz. Sophomore from Brownsburg, Indiana. First pitch from Wilkinson is a called strike. Next pitch is a fastball. Swung on and missed. So Wilkinson's quickly ahead in the count, 0-2. There's a fastball in, throws it by him. First out of the inning.
A little bit of emotion from Mr. Wilkinson on the mound. I like it. I like to see that competitive fire.
Left fielder Nathaniel Murrell leads off, or up to bat with 1 out. He's 1 for 3 on the day. There's a fastball, swung on and missed. A little giddy up on that today.
Carter's, again, in college, starting to fill out a little bit, put in some weight, get a little bit stronger. He was always a mid to high 80s kids on the mound with his fastball at times. Mixes it up really well, but as he gets obviously more mature and puts on a little bit more muscle and continues to work, he's going to be really, really good.
Fly ball down the right field line. Owen Willard catches the ball in foul territory. So quickly, 2 outs here in the top of the 8th inning.
Part of this success for relievers in general, and what Carter does a really good job of, is just working in the zone, getting ahead and making the hitters hit. As you well know, it's really hard to hit a baseball.
Yeah. This is Chase Smith up to bat. He is 0 for 4 on the day with a couple strikeouts. First pitch swung on and missed. Yeah, when I was down here in the fall, I just kept looking at guys and, this kid's a freshman, this kid's a freshman, this kid's a freshman, and
Yep.
The young man from Pendleton Heights, I really like him.
Jordan.
He's gonna be a good player.
He's a really good player, and honestly, Coach, an even better kid.
Kiefer, stay at home. A ground ball hit to second base, and Kiefer runs himself out of the play. So we try to get the 4-1 out, and we can't do it. So that'll be a base hit for Smith. Hope somebody's having a conversation with Wilson about that. That'll bring up the second baseman, Chris Godden. Godden is 0 for 3 with a walk. That's just too far for him to go, isn't it?
Well, and it's little things like that you don't necessarily – obviously, he hasn't played a lot of first base yet this year, right?
Yeah.
And so that's something, to your point earlier, hopefully that's a mistake that he learns from. He was aggressive, which I don't have a problem with, but we've got to learn from that and make sure that the next time it happens that we're not getting there.
Huntington's in a funk now where stuff like that comes back to haunt them, and they lose because of that. So
that's how the baseball gods roll usually.
Wilkinson throws to first. Runners back. 1 ball and no strikes on Chris Godden. Set, pitch. Yep, that ball's hit in the gap in right center field. We overrun it in center field. And overrun it in center field. We try to throw the ball back to the plate, not in time. And on that misplay at first base, Heath,
Yep.
because we didn't play that ball right, we give up the lead. So Goshen comes back. It's 5-4 on RBI double.
I think we had a shot at home right there, but I think the ball got lost in Willard's glove just a little bit, and he double clutched it, and by the time he got a handle on that baseball, there wasn't a play at the plate.
That brings up Aiden Calvey, Maple Leafs shortstop. There's a breaking ball for a strike. So the Foresters work hard to tie it up, and the Maple Leafs come back with 2 outs and go ahead. Wilkinson with I think that's a breaking ball, isn't it, Heath?
It looks like a hard slider.
Yeah.
12-6. It's not really a curveball, but it's a little bit harder.
It's not breaking enough for a curveball. I think you're right. I think it's a slider. No balls and 2 strikes. There's a pitch fouled straight back by Calvey, staying alive in the at-bat.
Carter has a really good changeup too. Really good changeup. His changeup is one of the better ones that I've seen at this level.
There's a hard ground ball to third. Flores throws to first. That's the 3rd out of the inning, but the Maple Leafs come back and score 1 to take a 5-4 lead, heading to the bottom of the 8th. So it looks like the same pitcher's on the mound. Ayala.
That is number 27, Adam Traylor.
Oh, new guy. So the Foresters will have Willard, Pelletier, and Reinhardt's 4, 5, 6 up here in the bottom of the 8th, trying to tie things up with the Maple Leafs. Who'd you say this was, Heath?
Adam Traylor, number 27.
Traylor is 1-2 on the season with a 10.12 ERA. This is his 10th appearance of the year. In 10 2/3 innings, he's walked 8 and struck out 9. Looking at the radar, I don't see anything out there yet. So
I feel like it's just humid enough to have stuff firing up at some point in
Yeah.
time. And I think it's supposed to maybe a little bit later on, about 8 o'clock tonight, get to that point. But hopefully we can get these games in before that happens.
Yep.
Because if it starts raining, Coach, I'll be honest with you, I'm probably hanging out with you up here. I'll sit on the couch and watch from a dry place.
So leading off the bottom of the 8th for Huntington will be second baseman Owen Willard, who's 2 for 3 on the day. Got hit with a pitch his second time up. There's a fastball away. Ball 1.
Owen's another kid I've been real impressed with his ability to go to the right side. Or right.
There's a
up the
line
middle.
drive base hit to center field. So the Foresters have the tying run on here in the bottom of the 8th. Willard's 3rd hit of the game.
He hits to all field really, really well.
Yep. That'll brings up Zach Pelletier. So we'll see what Thad decides to do here. Is he going to bunt and move the runners up, or will he let Pelletier swing away? Pelletier swinging away, takes a fastball for a strike on the outside corner.
Big hole, 3-4 hole again.
Yep, that's where he hit the ball last time. So Pelletier is 1 for 4 on the day. Had a single the last time to that aforementioned big hole on the right side that Heath was talking about. Ball off the outside corner, ball 1. Looked like some kind of changeup away. So 1 ball and 1 strike to the Foresters catcher, Zach Pelletier. There's a breaking ball that Pelletier pulls foul deep down the left field and into the trees. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Pelletier. Willard can run a little bit. I'm not sure that this situation calls for it, but he can run a little bit.
Yeah, he's not slow.
He's off and running. Pelletier swings and misses. Willard is safe at second base on the stolen base. So that'll bring Tanner Reinhardt's up to the plate. Reinhardt's is 1 for 4. Has a double. He's hit 2 fly balls to right field.
That was a good jump by Willard. I assuming he was moving on first movement right there from a lefty on the mound. Guessed right.
First pitch to Reinhardt's is off the outside corner, ball 1.
Tanner's due to hit the ball really hard somewhere. It's been a couple games.
There's a fly ball routine hit to right field.
Tag it.
So that's the second out of the inning. Willard tags up and moves to third. So 2 outs. And that'll bring up Braden Kaufman, who singled, tripled, struck out, and had a double his last time up. Kaufman swings and misses at the first pitch.
You know, Coach, you can look at a player sometimes and just see that they're seeing the ball really well, and I feel like Braden is seeing the ball really well right now.
There's a fastball outside, ball 1. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Foresters shortstop, Braden Kaufman. Swung on, fly ball to right field. That's going to stay in the park and be caught for the 3rd out of the inning.
That was just about dropped right there. That ball started to pop out of his glove a little bit.
So the Foresters are going to have to go to the last inning and try to win this game in walk-off style. So Goshen will take at least a 5-4 lead into the 9th inning. Go to the top of the ninth inning here with Goshen leading 5-4. This will be the DH leading off the inning. Marte Santana, who's had 3 hits on the day, hitting against Carter Wilkinson. There's a fastball up. This young man can swing the bat a little bit. Here's a ball. It's called a strike one at the lower end of the strike zone. Here's the 1-1 pitch. That's swung on a miss. That's a breaking ball. Down low. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Maple Leafs DH. There's a ball hit deep and high to left field. That ball's gone. And the DH is going to dance around the bases. Not sure that I would be real fond of that if I'm a Huntington player. So that's a home run by the DH Marte Santana.
Coach, was that his 4th hit today?
Yep. It's going to bring in first baseman Caracia. So Goshen's come in to Forest Glen Park and picked up where St. Francis left off. They're leading at least 6-4 in the top of the ninth. So nobody out. Not sure, is there a rule about dancing around the bases?
I don't know what that conversation was about. I don't know if it was helmet coming off or maybe not touching home. I'm not sure what that was about.
Yeah, that's why I asked that question. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's swung on and fouled to the backstop.
You know, at the end of the day, I mean, Goshen's put up 12 hits.
They've just been better than Huntington. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. 0-2 pitch is swung on and missed. That'll bring up Nick Padron, Goshen center fielder. He's 1 for 4 with a double. There's a ball hit into right field. That's a base hit. It's the 13th hit of the day for Goshen. I need to get up to speed with the dancing around the bases and the bat flips and that kind of thing.
It's definitely a different game than what it is. A different game. Listen, I can appreciate the enthusiasm. I can appreciate the at the end of the day, as you well know, baseball over the years has kind of had a marketing problem, right? And people have talked about it almost not necessarily being boring. While we appreciate it at a different level than most, I like the excitement. I like it coming back, but there's certain times and certain things that still, for me,
Man. That hits Benito, moves the runner to second base. So Maple Leafs have runners at first and second, and 1 out. And that brings up Hunter Oborn, who was hit for his third time up, had a base hit his first time up, but hit for his last time up. So he's re-entered into the game earlier, and this is his first time up. Hey, I'm not saying that kind of stuff is wrong. I'm just saying I'm not used to it.
Yeah, and I agree. There are times that
if you don't like it, then get him out, right?
I mean that is.
And Huntington's not been able to do that.
Right.
They've given up 13 hits and 6 runs.
Well, that young man has 4 of those hits.
Yep. There's another base hit up the middle. That will score another run. So the Maple Leafs will go up 7-4. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Nathan Muriel. And it looks like the Forcers are going to stick with Wilkinson here. Somebody up throwing in the bullpen, but they don't seem to be making a move to make a change here.
Looks like Carter Walker's throwing in the bullpen.
So runners at first and third with 1 out. Huntington's going to play back in the middle to try for a double play. I don't think you can give up any more runs here. You've probably given up too many now, but I'm just.
Yeah, anything over 3 runs is going to be a really tough ask.
First pitch is a fastball on the outside corner. So 0-1 to count on Muriel, who's 1 for 4 on the day. Throw to first from Wilkinson. Foul ball over the first base dugout, foul. Muriel's just trying to make contact, didn't he? And that was a swing to make contact.
It was a contact swing, but I mean, fortunately, it's been working for Goshen most of the game. I have not seen anybody really taking big daddy hacks at baseballs. They've been
Except for the DH.
You're correct. They've been doing a good job of just, again, putting the ball in play and putting pressure on defense and pitchers.
So the count is 1-2 on Muriel. Wilkinson throws to first again.
You know, unfortunately, this is one of those situations where now you've got 3 more games against Goshen, and you've given them a life to be able to compete with you over the next 3 games.
Yeah, there's a lot of noise coming out of that dugout down there. A lot of enthusiasm. So they don't think you can beat them. There's a stolen base. Pelletier fakes the throw to second, but the runner at third is not going anywhere.
Now the infield's got to come in.
To come in second and third. The count's 2-1 or 2-2. Got to try to defend the squeeze here, although that's, if it's ran right, you can't defend it. There's a fastball up high, ball 3, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So I'm not sure we want to walk him here. We go to the top of the order if that happens. With ball 4. Mural walks. That takes us back to the top of the order. And Chase Smith is hitting. Smith is 1 for 5 on the day. Looks like the Foresters will have a pitching change.
You know, Coach, looking at
Well, this is disappointing.
Goshen's roster, what is the recruiting acumen, I guess, for Goshen to have? They don't have a lot of Indiana kids on here.
Yeah, I think that's kind of their recruiting. That's kind of what they do. I don't know. I don't know that for. This is Carter Walker on the mound. That's a good question. I don't know.
I know there for a long time. Sounds like maybe you had some connections to north of the border and some Canada connections, and could be one of those situations where they've got some people out west, and it looks like maybe south a little bit. That
This is Carter Walker's 6th appearance of the year. He's got a 4.76 ERA in 5 2/3 innings pitched. He struck out 9 and walked 3, giving up 7 hits. Their 3rd straight. Am I off?
Yeah, you were off, yeah.
Am I off now?
No, you are now. You're on now.
Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah. Losing their 3rd straight game here at home, and they're behind 7-4 in the top of the 9th with 1 out. Goshen has the bases loaded, and their leadoff hitter up, Chase Smith. Chase is 1 for 5 on the day. So the Foresters are playing in, going to try to get the force out at the plate rather than trying to turn 2 in the middle. First pitch is swung on and fouled towards the first base dugout. Counts 0-1. There's a ball hit deep to right center field. That ball might be gone. Nope, caught by the center fielder. Runner at 3rd tags, he scores. That makes it 8-4. Runner at 2nd goes to 3rd. I thought that ball was gone.
it hung up a little bit longer than what I thought it was going to. Off the bat, that ball looked like it was hit really well. That's unfortunately for the hitter, that's a pretty deep part of the park, but it was plenty deep enough to score another run on a sacrifice fly.
Brings up Chris Godwin, who is 1 for 4 on the day with a walk. Breaking ball for a strike. There's a fastball for a strike. Count goes to 0-2. The 0-2 pitch to Godwin. That ball's fouled at home plate. Count stays at 0-2. They're going at first, delayed steal, no throw. Steal the bag at second. Pitch was high, 1 ball and 2 strikes, so now 2 runners in scoring position. There's a foul ball down the right field line. Count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. There's a ball that's inside, almost hits him.
Batter.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Batter was looking at the umpire to see if he could get a call right there.
Yep. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, line drive to shortstop. That ends the inning.
Good play
But
by
the Maple Leafs
Braden.
come back and score 3 runs, and we'll go to the bottom of the 9th with the score: Maple Leafs 8, Foresters 4.
I had one of the coaches that I played for with the Angels was Tom Kochman. He's a Hall of Fame minor league coach. His son was, back when I played, was the number 1 draft pick for the Angels, I think in 2002 maybe. One of the things that Koch always used to say, especially at the professional level, but in a 9-inning game, that 9-inning games are won and lost in either the first 3 or the last 3 innings.
Yeah.
And that typically holds true. And obviously today, you look at Goshen's numbers in the 9-inning game, and they've 4 in the first 3 and 4 in the second 3. So there's their 8 runs.
What is this guy's number? Is it 27?
Yep, still 27.
Okay. Adam Traylor. Well, I think if you're supposedly as good as everybody thinks you are, you've not done anything to demonstrate that you're that good. That's my feeling. I know that's harsh, but some of these guys have gaudy numbers, but they've certainly not done it the last 4 games when given multiple opportunities. So, but we'll see what happens. Johnny Ankenbrock, the leadoff here in the bottom of the 9th. Johnny walked his other plate appearance in this game. There's a ball inside, ball 1.
Well, I think that's the next step Huntington is going to have. The next hurdle Huntington's got to get over, in my opinion, is
Fastball for a called strike.
learning how to win and not playing down to the teams that you're playing. And so that's something that right, wrong, or indifferent, whether you love Taylor or hate Taylor, that's what they do. Their experience and they expect to go out there.
Huntington's experience has not led them to good things. I mean, they've got a graduate student at second base, a graduate student behind the plate, and just those guys have not played well consistently. They've got good numbers, but when it comes to days like today, we can't even put the ball in play.
You've got to find a way to.
And
yes.
I know that's old-fashioned, but Ankenbrock swings and misses at the 2-strike pitch. So that's 1 out, and that'll bring up Cade Flores to the plate.
They have to learn how to win, and that's something that unfortunately.
But how are you going to do that when you have graduate students in your lineup? Aren't you expecting them to come and have learned how to win? I mean, one of those guys played on a World Series team last year.
Right, and unfortunately, as well as I do, right? You've got to learn to do that as a team. I mean, while you've got a couple graduate students out there, it's hit by pitch. Maybe that's a spark we need.
Cade Flores gets hit by a pitch, and he'll go to first base, and that'll turn the lineup over for Jace Fowler.
you've got a fairly young team on the field, and it takes all 9 guys, to be able to when Kiefer's not swinging the bat well, somebody else in the lineup's got to pick it up for him. You just have to, and that's I think where they're at. It's just that consistency from top to bottom.
There's a fastball for a called strike on the outside corner.
When things are going well, things are going well. But when they're not going well, it's kind of that true test of what kind of team you have.
No ball's a strike. There's another fastball for a strike. No balls and 2 strikes. There's a fastball off the outside corner.
Understand from a hitting standpoint right here, right? I would assume, Coach, that you're taking it until you get a strike. But if you get a strike on you and you see a fastball, we got to be ready to swing.
Yeah, I don't know what Thad's philosophy is on that. Fowler takes another fastball in the outside corner. So his at-bat, he takes 3 fastballs for strikes, doesn't swing at any of them, and that's his second strikeout of the game. That'll bring up Kiefer Wilson. Wilson is 1 for 5 with 2 strikeouts.
Coach, is that?
I'm beginning to think I need to not do this broadcast anymore because it's so hard for me to handle what I see.
That's a 38-year-long coaching history in there.
Well, I don't understand the celebrations. I don't understand the called third strikes. I don't understand, some of those kinds of things, and I probably too harsh on these guys. So Wilson swings at a ball in the dirt that goes to the backstop, so he has 2 strikes. Flores goes to second base on the wild pitch. So the Maple Leafs are 1 out away from nailing this down. There's a ground ball to third base, throw to first. In time. This ball game is over. Maple Leafs come in here at 4-27 and take the first game of the series, doubling up the Foresters 8-4. So we'll take about a 30-minute break, and then we'll come back for game 2. Game 2 will be a 7-inning game. So thanks to Heath Luther for coming up and spending some time with me.
Anytime, Coach.
Coach Frame's got to go to the little coach's room.